Welcome to Miller's Mods, ladies and gentlemen. So, I did a couple modifications to the worker Kunlun. Okay, what I did to this thing was first thing I did was that it shot 300. 300 is like a fabulous number right out of the box. I won't lie to you on normal darts. But I always try to get a little more out of it, at least. After all, this is a $200 blaster. So, I decided to play around with springs, and you guys might want to get pen and paper and write this down. Yes, absolutely. First spring I tried in it was I tried one of the Nexus Pro X upgrade springs. I actually had to cut it down. Okay. That didn't work out so well. I cut it down to the proper length of 28 centimeters. Okay. I squared off the end like you're supposed to. I fed it into the blaster. And it gave the spring erectile dysfunction. It bent the crap out of it. So much so that I had to disassemble the blaster to remove the spring. Okay? That's the first spring I tried. So I went back into my stash and I pulled out a 1.8 Swift spring. Okay? I cut the spring to 28 centimeters. I cut it to about 29 centimeters, and then I squared it off to where the total length was 28 centimeters. Now, I square my springs off so that way I don't have problems, because if you leave that little piece of spring hanging out, sometimes it won't work in every blaster like that. That's why I square mine off. I suggest that you, ladies and gentlemen, square your springs off too on this blaster, because if you don't, you're really going to have a problem feeding the spring in, okay? When I fed the spring in, I was getting an average speed on normal darts of about 350 FPS. Yeah, I'm not kidding you, 350. Okay, so which is fabulous. Now, when I changed up the ammo, because I'm greedy and I like to see higher numbers, I was using Worker Bamboo 2.0s, okay? And I got speeds of about 370 to 380, maybe. 370 an hour is the highest number I got out of the Worker Bamboos. So I decided to try the siren darts, the polypropylene demonstrations. Well, when I did that, the highest shot I got was 399. Yeah, you heard me, 399 FPS. However, the siren darts are wildly inaccurate, and the bamboos are nice, but over long ranges, they're not as accurate as normal 1 gram darts or heavy darts. When I ran heavy darts in this blaster, I was getting still right around 300, okay, which is really good. The other things I did in this blaster was I changed out the scar. I got rid of the Worker P-card just because it's good for what it is. But if you're running at that high of an FPS, you're going to need a better scar. So this is a saber bearing scar right here. Okay, this is designed for 300 FPS plus blasters. These are run on sabers for Pete's sakes, and I've seen sabers at 400. My Apex does 400. Okay, so so I decided to put a saber bearing scar on this thing. Now, I'm going to give you a firing demo of this thing, and to show you how light the prime is still, because you guys are going to say, well, if you put a 1.8 Swift spring in there, even if it's cut down, it's still going to be heavy prime weight. You tell me. It's not heavy at all. It's actually pretty loose. Yeah, this blaster now really hits like a truck. This blaster hits almost as hard as my Apex. I'll let that sink in. This $200 and some odd blaster hits almost as hard as my $500 Apex. That's insanity, okay? Now, Worker did a fabulous job on this blaster as far as I'm concerned. I mean, it's really nice. It's a beautiful blaster. I'm going to make some suggestions to people in the community. And again, you can spend your money however you want. You can flush down whatever toilets you want. I personally don't care. Okay, if you buy this blaster here, if somebody ends up making a 3D printed split top rail, don't buy it. The reason being is this metal rail here acts like a backbone to the blaster. Okay, if you remove its backbone, you're gonna have problems with this blaster eventually. That's what happened to a couple of Harrier owners. You know, I mean, that's just that. You know, so don't. If somebody says, well, I just designed a 3D printed top rail and it's a split top rail for easy disassemble, don't worry about it. Don't buy it. Reason being is if you want to quick disassemble this blaster, you know, aside from the 2 screws here and here, there's a screw here and here on the top of the top rail. You just take those 2 screws out and the whole top comes right off. It's great. Okay? You know, that's what I would suggest. You know, I mean, but this is a fabulous blaster. And I understand Out of Darts is about 3 weeks or so out from their delivery. Those of you who ordered for Out of Darts, you guys will have a beautiful blaster in a few weeks, I'm sure. Trust me, you will be as happy with it as I am with this one. Now, if you guys haven't ordered from Out of Darts yet, you could go to M416 and they have a 15% off sale. So which brings this blaster down to about $180 with free shipping. Okay. Now, I will put a buy link in the description below for the blaster. I'll put a buy link in the description below for the 1.8 Swift spring that you will have to cut down and square off. The total cut down and squared off length is 28 centimeters. No more, no less. This blaster does not like pre-compression. I will also put a buy link in the description below for the Saber bearing scar as well. Well, in any event, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and to subscribe. And until next time, this is Miller's Mods signing off.